So the reason you're on here, Stokes, there is to discuss Sinners right now. Sinners, which is leading the Academy Awards with 16 nominations. It
Yeah.
is the most nominations ever in the Academy's history there,
Yes,
beating out La
sir.
La Land, All About Eve, as well as
Titanic.
Titanic, yeah, which each had 14 nominations. So yeah, this is leading all those categories. And I just did an Oscar talk with Chris from the Black Stuffs podcast, who we just on. We went through all the awards there. Now, out of the awards that it's nominated for, 16, I think that Sinners may end up with maybe four, maybe.
Damn.
I think it'll win for costume design, possibly cinematography, possibly original screenplay, and then I think they're gonna split it. I think they're gonna split Best Picture and Best Director. I think they'll give Sinners probably Best Picture, but then they'll give the Best Director to Paul Thomas Anderson. That's what I'm thinking. So I think it'll may end up with like four. So
Soundtrack. What about the like the sound?
oh, the score. Yeah, I think the score.
Or the original song. I think original song is like a lot. I feel like, but I'm not big into like the Oscar in terms of like knowing who's gonna get what. So I could be mistaken about that.
So it's nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role. It's nominated for also Best Actress in a Leading Role as well there with that.
Really? Okay.
Wumi Masaoka is nominated there for her performance there, which I was surprised by. I didn't think that she may get a nod for that. Delroy Lindo is also nominated Best Actor in a Supporting Role there. That was also kind of a surprise. I didn't think maybe he'd get acknowledged for that, but that's pretty awesome there that he did. So yeah, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Best Actress in a Supporting Role, Best Original Screenplay, Best Casting. That's another award I think it'll probably win for too, Best Casting possibly. Maybe that or One Battle, because One Battle has a lot of big names, one Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn and a lot of names like that. Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Original Score, Best Original Song, Best Production Design, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects. Boom, all those. So those are all the things that it's nominated for there. Yeah, with that. So out of that, so what I mean, you say you don't really pay attention to the Oscars much there, but you think out of the 16 nominations, what do you see Sinners coming home with there, possibly?
I definitely think best. I can tell you what I don't think is going to win. I guess I don't think Michael B. Jordan's going to get it.
Yeah.
I don't think Best Picture is going to happen. I think you're right. What I think is going to be like it'll sweep the technical awards, and then so like Best Sound Design, Best Sound Mixing, all that stuff. And I think maybe it'll take a couple of those. But like the acting, I don't think anybody's gonna win for Best Actor. And then maybe it'll take Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, and then Best Director. But like one of those, I don't think it's gonna take all three.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it won't sweep. It won't walk away with everything. It'll get some more technical stuff in that. But yeah, I don't think it'll sweep there. But I hope it wins a good amount. There, I do love the movie. You also are a big fan of the movie as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how many movies you saw in 2025. There, were you a big? Do you see a lot of movies in 2025?
Of the Best Pictures, I think I've seen about half of them. Like I didn't see The Secret Agent. I didn't see any of the other foreign ones. So I've seen a couple of them. I didn't see as much. Like the older I get, the more. Like 2010 when I first got into movies, like I'd seen every Best Picture except King's Speech. Mm-hmm. And we get further away, I'm like, yeah, I can't find it. I can't watch all of them. I hope to watch most of them eventually. I probably will never see Frankenstein. I don't think I'm ever gonna see that.
Why not?
I'm just out on Frankenstein as like a concept, I guess. Like like I'm good. I'm good.
Just good on Frankenstein.
I'm good. I just don't think, and I don't like Benicio, Guillermo del Toro. I don't like his movies that much. I'm being honest. I think a lot of times, and I think this is also true of bro that did Parasite. I feel like sometimes it's like
Bong Joon-ho,
like their English dialogue. I just can't get with like what and because Mickey 17 was the same way. I just feel like they kind of like it feels like a lot of overacted. It feels a little cheesy, I guess. So on top of that, but yeah, like nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna watch The Bride either. Like I'm just good on.
Oh yeah, that it's Maggie Gyllenhaal directed.
Yeah, I'm good,
Yeah.
bro. I'm good, bro. Maybe
Okay.
Robert Eggers did one, but otherwise, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, he's doing the other movie Monster. He's doing
The werewolf.
Werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing that.
So he's the only guy that will take me to that period of time with that kind of, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good, I'm good. Like anybody else, oh, thank you.
So with Sinners being the most Oscar nominated movie in history, obviously there's some people, a little controversy going of it. People going like, I mean, does it deserve to be the most nominated movie in history? Is it really that good? Like, I don't know. It's just this fun blockbuster popcorn movie. Why is it nominated for 16 Academy Awards there? So you got that as well attached to it. So we're gonna just talk about some of these takes there as well. And then if we had time, I don't know what were we arguing about on Facebook
We were
before?
talking about One Bath or Another
We were talking about that.
and its shortcomings relative to Sinners, and I think also like its similarity to, at least in my, its similarity to other movies. Like to me, One Battle After Another is in like that Crash Green Book vein mold to me in
Really?
terms of,
Wow.
yeah, like it's definitely better than Crash. Crash is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but in terms of its politics, I would say it's in that direction, like kind of being vaguely about like race in a way that's not challenging for mainstream audiences. I would put in that, and being rewarded for it, I would put in that category. Yeah.
Okay. So some takes on Twitter, of course, Twitter, the most wonderful place it is, went kind of viral there. People kind of talking about it and reacting to it. So this was one of the bigger ones that got viral there on Twitter. So this take right here. So I know people may struggle to read it. It's maybe the print is always the best, but okay. So this person is quote tweeting a tweet that somebody else had. So they said, "I don't understand this. It was a good movie, but not anywhere near the hype, in my opinion." And this is them. They're reacting to the 16 nominations. So this person says, is they quote tweeted the reason is white liberal enthusiasm. Same reason Black Panther got 7 nominations. I know you're a little critical of Black Panther there
Very
and
much.
the awards that it got, and we're gonna dig
Yeah.
into that some of the nominations they got there as well. But then they follow it. They follow their tweet by saying, "I thought it was a great genre film, but this kind of film is catnip for a certain kind of white liberal with a racial complex. And there are a lot of those in Hollywood. They overrate any such film to satisfy their various parts of that complex." James Baldwin wrote about his frustration with the white liberal tendency to superficially overrate Black art due to their own psychological complexes. It's a mix of virtue signaling and guilt there, assigning guilt there, and a few other things. Plus, Trump is in power, which adds some extra impetus. So what are your thoughts there about it?
I actually, like I kind of alluded. I actually think this applies to One Battle After Another. Like if you were to if you were to take that criticism, some of that criticism, I think would apply more so to that than Sinners. To me, the reason why I would disagree is because I think Sinners, if you have a racial prejudice against, like, say, like Black people, that movie, it cast like a really wide net. Like you have the liberal in there, which would be the ally, which would be
Haley
Remick.
Steinfeld. Oh, what are you gonna say?
And then you do have, or I guess, yeah, okay, I guess she would be more of the ally character, I guess, and then Remick would be the liberal, and then like you have the Klan, who are like the full on like typical racist, or I guess what people imagine to be racist. So there's nowhere on the spectrum for you to fall and watch this movie and not not confront your biases somewhat. And this is, I would say the same thing about Get Out. I think that's what Get Out did really well too, is that Get Out had a full spectrum. So there's nowhere for you to hide in terms of like your perspective if you watch this movie. And I think that's the opposite problem. I think that eliminates the point. Like if there's like two characters that if you're a liberal that you could resemble Remick or you could resemble Mary, like easily. So I disagree with that criticism.
So and then he also followed up again. He did a whole kind of big thing there. I don't know if I sent it to you. I don't know if you read the whole thing. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's kind of long there. But to summarize basically what he said, he basically kind of said again, reiterated some of the same things he said before. But also he was just talking about how the Academy is mostly white there, and it's not that many black people there. And then also he quoted James Baldwin again. He brought up how white liberals see black art and everything like that. And then he also mentioned how films, like he brought up Black Panther again, how that was overpraised there, overhyped, by giving 7 nominations. And then he mentioned as well some other black films.
Man,
Um,
get the fuck.
like he mentioned here, like Spike Lee's Relatively Safe, Black Klansman didn't get to see as much love as Black Panther. He also mentioned Barry Jenkins of Beale Street Could Talk as well, which says ironically also relatively safe and sanitized. He mentioned that about that. But he mentions the Academy snubbed Boots Riley's Sorry to Bother You, an ambitious and radical indictment of liberal racism, and Steve McQueen's Widows, a near perfect genre film that definitely addresses racism, class, and gender in a structural critique of urban liberal politics with a powerhouse lead performance
Time
by
out.
Viola Davis. Yes.
That's where you fucking lose me. When you say Widows is a near perfect film, and this is the problem I have with the discourse around Oscars, especially as like these movies just get flattened. Like essentially we start comparing movies that you wouldn't compare otherwise. Like you would never compare Black Klansman to Widows, but like now because a black movie gets nominated, it gets brought up. Like that's kind of the part of the conversation I hate. Like there's no reason to be positively speaking about Widows. It's to me it's so insane, especially considering that like like Black Klansman won an Oscar. Like I don't really. I think the argument's all over the place. And again, I don't think this applies. I do think it does criticize white liberalism. So I think it criticizes it pretty thoroughly. So I just disagree with the core criticism. And then the movies that you have to boost up to make that argument, it just makes me, I'm just not.
Then he mentions also, and then gave Best Picture to Green Book, a white directed period race film that combined a white savior and white redemption narrative. Yeah. And then so he mentions here again, Sinners is a great genre film that, like Black Panther, is also safe and attractive to white liberal Academy. It's fun and stylish, addresses racism without challenging them at all. So that's kind of basically where he kind of sums it up there. But but he does mention one after another here. He says, but there are several other kinds of films white liberals love up for some of the categories this year, like one battle after another. So we have to see how it fares overall. So yeah, that's kind of basically his thing. I mean, his thing is saying that the only reason Sinners is getting all this love is because of white guilt, white liberal guilt, and they're hyping it up and overhyping it because of that, just like what they did similar to something like Black Panther. What do you have to say about that in terms of the Academy being made up of mostly white people, that white liberal guilt coming in there? What do you have to say about that?
Again, I agree with a lot of what he said. I just think he picked the wrong Best Picture nominee. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is coming. I think ironically, the blacker movie is getting the criticism that I think should be reserved for the movie that's actually like that I think has white liberal like values. Like I think One Bell After Another is that. I just don't even understand the position, honestly. I don't know how you watch this movie and think like, oh yeah, this is like basically just to me, just like, yo, this is like a black movie that's good, and it's not a 1-to-1 because like the Ku Klux Klan as we understand it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no 1-to-1. So maybe that's why the position, but I just don't understand it.
Now the nominations with Black Panther, so it had 7. So it was nominated for Best Costume Design, Best Original Score, Best Production Design, Best Picture, Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing. Now all of those I could see it being nominated for, except for maybe Best Picture. But I think the Best Picture thing now, since it's expanded to 10, that's where they'll throw in a movie that is like, okay, what's the most popular movie that most people probably seen that we could get away with throwing in there? Like I think Avatar, Way of Water was nominated for Best Picture. Top Gun Maverick was nominated for Best Picture. You also had even this year, people talking about F1. Like, why the fuck is F1 nominated for Best Picture? And that was kind of a mediocre race. It's like, why is that nominated? So I just think they just throw a movie in there that's just kind of like,
I
okay, well,
think Panther is better than the like, and I didn't enjoy Black Panther, but if you're looking at it in terms of cultural impact, then it absolutely deserved to get the Best Picture nom. And I agree that it did. That's the thing when people are like overrated. It's like you couldn't really dispute any of those Sinners nominations. Like you really can't. Like there's nothing that's all the technical awards. Like you can't argue that. Like Michael B. Jordan, I think like Oppenheimer just came out. I think that was the definitive performance of the 2020s, but I think like Michael B. Jordan is gonna like rival that. I think this is gonna be the standard going forward for portraying two different characters in one movie, which is long. They've been doing that for years. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like, so like when you go to that level and you become that, then I feel like the nominations earned at least.
yeah. And only Black Panther only ended up winning two. It won for best score and best costume design, which I think those were good awards for it to win. I think it deserved to win those awards there.
Yeah.
And then he mentions also like Black Klansman and then If Bell Street Could Talk. Gorgeous movie, Bell Street Could Talk. I like Bell Street Could Talk as a lot there with it. But I guess my thing is you always going to have a white majority probably academy, so
Yes.
how and what position does that put black art in? Because if something's not successful and you like it and it's not nominated by the academy, then that's truly subversive and challenging. But if it does get nominated, then it placates to white people and white liberals. And then he leaves out, I mean, if he's saying like something that isn't challenging, like he brings up Sorry to Bother You, that is. I mean, Get Out was very highly successful at the Academy, and that was just critiquing nothing but white liberal racism and white liberals. So
Well,
how
12
was
Years a
that?
Slave, like which also like did as well. So I think you're correct in what you're getting at is it does kind of feel like, all right, well, this movie was successful, therefore it's placating white liberals. But like yeah, you kind of leave out. I mean, what would you like Moonlight? Like you kind of have to end up leaving out a lot of like really good black movies that Moonlight isn't even about like racism. So like where does it even where would that even figure, into that metric that
Right.
narrative that he's trying to push.
Yeah. Yeah, because Moonlight, yeah, I mean, that was a gorgeous movie. Like this movie came out in 2016. There and great movie, love this movie a lot. But you said it's not about racism, it's just more about it's about homosexuality, about masculinity.
Masculinity,
Um,
yeah, I would say.
it's more about that. So it's not really too much about, I mean, you could swap out the race really and it will kind of
I don't agree with that, but
yeah.
I disagree with that. But I get what you're getting at. It's not. I do think it's specific to black masculinity, but it's not about
Yeah.
racism. It's not about like racism, and you could probably read into like it being about that somewhere, but like that's not the core. That's not the core conflict. But I'd probably argue it's not the core conflict in One Bite or Another or Sinners either. I don't really
Mm.
I don't really understand.
Do you
Um,
think it's just because too many people are thinking most nominated movie ever means that it's the greatest movie ever? Do you think too many people are just thinking those two things are synonymous?
I will give people more credit than that. I don't think people are looking at it like that. I think people probably thought Sinners was overrated. I think like what I get frustrated with online discourse is like, oh, people are hating for this movie out of nowhere. It's like no, like I could see a movie and be like tweet about it like, yeah, I don't really mess with this. Like when I see it, and then it gets nominated for an Oscar and be like, yep, see, and that's not me. That's not me coming out of nowhere. Like I was here, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it comes up because of the Oscars. I think a lot of people think Sinners is overrated. I think um they're wrong. They're stupid, but like they think it's overrated, and it's not hard to imagine why they think it's overrated. Like like I think I kind of alluded to this. It's like this is a black movie. Like I wouldn't call 12 Years a Slave black movie. Like 12 Years a Slave's aesthetic choices are more reminiscent of a mainstream like white movie. But like when you get to like Sinners or Moonlight, those feel in the vein of like damn John Singleton. Like
Okay.
John Singleton or the Hughes brothers. Like if you were to look at that as like those are kind of the pioneers, one of the pioneers of like black cinema. 12 Years a Slave would belong more to say the PTA side than like not the John, yeah, the Hughes brothers side, for instance. And I think that's the difference. I think it resembles too much of a movie that black people would enjoy. There was a reality where this movie was just From Dusk Till Dawn with vampires or with blues. Like there was a reality, but Ryan Coogler elevated what is a pretty simple premise with like a lot of artistry and inspiration and great choices and great like it rose above it. But I think you can look past if you're being dismissive, you can look past all that and say like, yeah, this is From Dusk Till Dawn with the blues. And I truly believe that's why. And
Mm.
like I do think that is why 12 Years a Slave like did better. You know what I'm saying? I do think that's why Boots Riley, his movie didn't get nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I don't know that Sorry for Bothering You was like a top 5 movie that year, but it should have deserved the Best Picture, I would imagine.
And I love Sorry to Bother You. When I did my list of, I think,
Yeah.
best movies of the 21st century, it was on my list. I love it a lot. And I think Boots Riley, I mean, he's doing a lot, and he, like I said, he's doing a lot as far as critiquing with his social commentary, with a lot of kind of radical stuff. That, I mean, you can only, I mean, be so radical in, I think, Hollywood in film, given, what I mean, how much they kind of, cut you off there at your knees. So you can only go so far there what you can do. And do you think, and let me see, I'm going to see also what came out the same year as Sorry to Bother You as well, because this movie came out 2018, so this was a big year there. But do you think it's when people say, like you brought up, people say, oh, well, it's just kind of like From Dusk Till Dawn. Do you think people are just not getting the message of Sinners all that much, or you think people are oversimplifying Sinners too much? Or you think
Oh
that's
yeah.
also
Yes, I think people are oversimplifying it. I think it has an uphill battle, and like I said, this is a movie that I had somebody. It was this dude at the Single Fire. He talked about this, and you look at Lupe Fiasco versus Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar's sensibilities are very black. Like it's grills, you know what I'm saying? It's black and white. It's blues. It's soul music. He did a funk album, you know. And if you look at Lupe Fiasco's sensibilities, his sensibilities are very white. Like he loves Radiohead, like um he had like I think he had one of the singers on Radiohead from a song. Like he did a punk album. Like and not okay, obviously like punk can be black or whatever, but generally speaking, if you look at what he's doing, it's different. And I think it's the same thing. If that makes sense. Like that's the best way to compare it. Like so you may get it. It just so happens that Kendrick Lamar is so talented that I think he can over. I think that's not a barrier in rap music because ultimately the people in the driver's seat for rap music are black people, but they're certainly not in the driver's seat for cinema. They're in the trunk for cinema.
okay?
Like you know what I'm saying. So I think that's what it is, and I think because of those choices, that's why those people push back, and I think that's why like a movie like One Bath Another is getting those accolades because that is a movie in spite of having like a bunch of black people in it, it has like white sensibilities. Like the that more resembles um more resembles Boogie Nights than Boys in the Hood.
Hmm. And I don't know, maybe one ballot after another makes, like I said, maybe white liberals feel good in this political climate, revolutionary kind of thing. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, who's somewhat of the lead of the movie, him and Chase Affinity there, and they're, fighting back figures there who are kind of ICE, and, you can kind of implant them in it, or, very federal, officers there. And, I like the movie. It was on my list of best films of 2025 there. I feel like even people who don't like the movie, I think even on a technical level, they can admire it just from the filmmaking perspective of it. I mean, you don't even
It's
admire it on the
fine.
filmmaking perspective of it?
It's fine. Like I even on a filmmaking perspective, I don't like it's whatever. Like I think this movie is getting a lot of like Paul Thomas Anderson love.
Mm.
Um because like yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously an expensive movie, like it's well made, but like to me, Licorice Pizza, like I can say the same thing about Licorice Pizza, like, but that movie's not. Maybe this has like more scale, but like that movie didn't get a bunch of nominations. People weren't saying that was the best movie of the year. So I do tend to lean on the side of overrated, like for me personally.
Okay. And I know people, seen people have issues with it, especially with a lot of how the black characters are portrayed in it. Tiana Taylor most notably,
Yeah.
and everything like that. And then a character, Jungle Pussy, who's in it as well. But that is her, like you said. I mean, I just want to bring up, it is her rap name. It is her. That's her.
And it's so funny because it's like it's her rap name. It's like so like it's crazy because you have musicians in this movie. Like Tiana Taylor is a musician. Like Haim, what's her name? One of the Haim sisters. She's in the movie. Her
Yeah,
name ain't
Alana
fucking
Haim. Yeah.
yeah. Her name ain't the fucking youngest Haim sister. Her name ain't Tiana Taylor.
Well,
Her name's Perfidia.
well, her stage name is her name. I mean, her
No,
band name.
but my point is that when you say, if I were to say, it doesn't matter to me. Like I don't. I mean, you tell her no. You tell her, okay, we're going to give you. You know how everybody else on this set has a real name, and then they are given a name for their character. We're going to do the same thing for that for you, because for me, having her basically name her own character speaks to a lack of intentionality on Paul Thomas Anderson's part. I feel like if you're going to have a character like this, kind of be a braggadocious representation of a black revolutionary, then shouldn't you kind of like be really careful with that? Shouldn't you be really particular with what you're framing and what you're putting out there? And then you call her Jungle Pussy, and it's just like, he named the character. In effect, he named the character Jungle Pussy. The actress just says, "That's my name. Okay, I'm gonna name the character that." Like he didn't come up with the name. And I think if either the name is okay or it's not, like I don't give a fuck who came up with it. Like,
I mean,
like and nobody, how nobody else says their name. Like nobody else states, "Hey, my name is Boom Boom." Like she's the only character too. So
yeah. How
I
many
think
times
yeah.
does I forget? How many times is Leonardo DiCaprio referred to as like ghetto Pat? How many is it? How many times is it referred to?
Does he respond? He might say, "This is me, Pat, ghetto Pat," because I have to like communicate who I am. But he's not like, "Yo, it's me, ghetto Pat." Like, or if we were doing a one-on-one, it's me, Leonardo DiCaprio, because we're letting actors choose their own names. I think it's completely founded. I think the conversation about, I think my core problem with this is, and this is the conversation we had. I think if you are a racist, you could watch this movie and it could completely miss you on the scale. Like I don't think this. You could be a white liberal and you could just be like, all right, cool. Yeah, this movie's not about me. I'm not a fascist. And if you're like mad racist, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, this is what Black Lives Matter was. It's Jungle Pussy. It's Perfidia blowing up shit and then having sex. Like I felt like the characterization was so loose. It felt so unfocused. And to hear that that they at least let one actress, Miss Pussy, write her lines, I just feel like, yeah, like that's probably why it feels so disjointed. That's probably why the characterization feels so off. Versus Sensei, where you could really tell there was a lot of care and a lot of like technique, and I'm sure Benicio del Toro made some choices, but like respectfully, Benicio del Toro has the chops to make those kind of choices, and he's not supposed to represent or be a representative of like a revolutionary force, like but Miss Jungle Pussy is.
So is your issue just mainly with Jungle, or is it with Tiana Taylor and
I think it's
Regina Hall?
both. I think Regina Hall, I think, is kind of like something that adds some stability, but she comes in later. Like as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, yo, you could throw out this whole first act, because to me, Perfidia, I thought, and again, if you wanted to look into this movie and be ignorant, just be like, oh yeah, like all black women are just hyper sexualized beings. the movie would vindicate you for the first 30, 40 minutes. I mean, a bomb goes off, and then she's like, yo, let's fuck while the bomb goes off. Insane. I think it was a couple. Like to me, it's also like it's a Jenga. It's basically a Jenga tower. Like, okay, I'm with you. Tiana Taylor, she's sexy, right? Like she's a beautiful woman. I get you. Like, okay, yeah. She could even use her sex as a weapon, or it's, you know what I'm saying? I get you there. But some of the scenes with Sean Penn, the way they're framed, and then even the note, she like, this pussy don't pop for you. It's just like, all right, bro, like everything. How much pussy is in this movie? Like everything kind of ends up going back to sex. And I think it undercuts like the actual character that's there. And like we can't just ignore the fact that like Paul Thomas Anderson definitely likes black women, like for sure. Like, but I mean, this is no worse. This is worse to me than Quentin Tarantino liking feet, because at least him liking feet hasn't like derailed, you know, like the themes or the character, you know what I'm saying, or a character arc, you know. So for me, yeah, I do think if I do think people are right to kind of question like, all right, is this movie representing black women well? I mean, I'm not a black woman, but so I can't give my full. I don't have I'm not fully informed, but and I think also it's not respectability politics either. Like I think, yeah, you can be sexy for sure, but saying my name is Jungle Pussy, this is what black power looks like. When you have that line in there, you are saying something, and it's not PTA saying something, it's the actress saying something. And I don't know if she fully thought through the implication of that line. Like what would that mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've listened to the criticisms. I mean, black women have had about it and said like, I'm not even gonna watch the movie. I mean, pregnant Tiana Taylor firing a machine gun, like, yeah,
that
like,
shit was cool though.
You know,
that shit was hard. That shit was hard.
But I know, yeah, some people had, and I can see that definitely in the movie. I think what they're doing for sure there. And then you could also say some of it there's a satire bent to it. I mean, just the whole stuff with the white supremacists in the movie and how they are overly cartoonish there and how they kind of act. Then that stuff, and you know, and a lot of the, I mean, other prominent, you don't really have, I mean, because Tiana Taylor's gone for the most part of the movie. And then you have Regina Hall, who is not a major part of the movie. She's gone for a large bit and comes back at the end. Then you also have I forgot that actor's name, the guy from The Wire. He's in it I forgot his name. But
I know you're talking about, yeah, he's barely in there, yeah.
He's barely in there, and then he's in a relationship with the
white girl, yeah.
With the white girl, and then he kisses her and says, "I think, well, you go get it, white girl, or you do your
That's
white
what
girl."
I'm saying, bro. Like, stop it. Just if you took, like, I'm just like, yo, just at face value, this dialogue is corny. Like, just taking that face value, this is some corny ass dialogue, and it's like to me, Paul Thomas Anderson writing a political satire about Black Lives Matter is like Jordan Peele directing what is it, Little Women? Like what, like that's the same shit to me.
The Greta Gerwig movie?
Yeah, like what the fuck? That's like Jordan Peele directing Barbie. Like, nigga, what are we doing? Like it doesn't make sense. Like who PTA, who do you think you are? Like bro, like just stick to, you know, I just feel like he changed the race and didn't like think through the implication. It's like, all right, I know you got angst about your daughter being like mixed and all that, but like go to therapy, bro. Like who are you? I just feel like and I'm glad that we got Sinners, because I think some years this would have been the only black prestige movie we got. And this is not a black movie. This is like, it has black people in it. Like you said, like we get little snippets and shit. But like, it's not really hidden for me. And I
don't mean to erase the identity of Chase Infinity, who she is half black. I believe she's half black.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to erase that identity there. But yeah. But she's, yeah. So it's kind of,
she's great. I mean, she was great in the movie, but also she is not, you know, like when I say it's not a black movie, I mean this is through the lens of white. Literally, it's through the lens of white man. Like the POV character is Leo. Leo's the guy with the biracial daughter. Like, so it's like it's not just that. And And then once the movie starts going, we don't see the revolution anymore, really. Like it stops being about, to me, it stops being about a movie about not like anti-fascism, and it becomes just like a fun adventure movie
Mm.
with some lip service to being anti-fascist. But like you could like change the story, like, oh, they're diamond thieves, and like, oh, Jason Finney's character has like a necklace, and then she gets stolen. They have to track. Like it could have been anything for me, and I think like actually the social commentary is what makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you want the emotional weight of having racial commentary, but once it's scrutinized, you don't want that. Like it doesn't hold up. And to me, that's why I would compare it to Crash or like The Green Book, because it's a political movie that you can't examine the politics. Like it doesn't really say anything to me, but it's being rewarded as if it does. And like I think it's pretty cowardice.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm gonna circle back to Sinners there. But the close our little one battle after another. So what was the main crux of our argument there? It was that how racists would see the movie. That was the main crux of it.
My argument was that you could watch the movie as a racist and not and come away more apathetic with black people than you did walking in.
Okay.
If you're going to make a movie that features fascism and racism, I would think the point would be to raise empathy for those groups. And I think it utterly failed at that. And I think your point was that racists can't really be swayed by movies like media and all that. And I don't think it's a horrible argument, but that is the intention with art. Like art, a lot of art is trying to change people's perspective.
Mm. Okay, so I guess I guess what I was trying to kind of say in my kind of comments there was that I think art is it to can it be to change minds? I think maybe in some way I think that is that the sole purpose of I mean, I don't know because I mean, I don't know if that's the sole purpose of art. I mean, art has many different purposes. Is that what Paul Thomas Anderson is trying to do in this movie with one battle after another? Specifically, I don't know. I think maybe he's just trying to show up, and sometimes some artists will just show a thing and then leave it up to people, go like, hey, whatever you want, you interpret it how you want to interpret it, and that's not up to me to tell you what to think either way, how you feel about that. And if someone who is a racist comes into a movie like one battle after another or Sinners or anything like that, it's like, well, now I'm going to think that all black people are bank robbers, and
There's
I mean,
nobody named Jungle Pussy in Sinners. Like Sinners had an extreme amount of dignity, and like it didn't go into that. And I think like to me that's the problem. It's like, okay, if PTA just made an adventure movie and used fascism as a backdrop, I think that's bad. Like I don't think that's not a great movie to me. You should have made it about something else. And again, I'm not trying to say that was the sole focus of the movie, but I think that should have been the intention or a possible outcome, and I think it utterly failed at that. Whereas I do think Sinners inherently in introducing it made me more empathetic towards Irish people, because I was like, I didn't know y'all had a fucking song like this. Like
mm,
I didn't know
Rocky Road to Dublin.
of course I'm already empathetic towards like Latinos, but I thought like the sensei character showing that, I thought like it did humanize the minority group that it was focused on. But I don't think it does that for black people. And even if it is it's a futile effort, I would just have to ask, okay, then what is this movie doing? If it's not trying to inspire empathy, then what's the point of the movie?
I think the core of one battle after another isn't the radical or trying to be the radical politics. I think it's the father-daughter relationship, family. What is family? What makes family? I think that's the ultimate thing of it, really.
Then why do you have Jungle Pussy in the beginning talking about this is what Black Power looks like? Then you overemphasize the political part in the first act, which I agree with you, but that means that's what makes the first act worse, is that you overemphasized the politics. And then when we examine the politics, because this is a movie that's being celebrated for being, because old boy didn't say this, that this was an empty, phallic, boring, white liberal race movie. So people aren't perceiving it as that. Then where are the politics at?
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of like trying to have your cake and eat it too. To me,
I mean, people did say that when One Battle After Another came out, though. They did say it was like
yeah,
white liberal guilt, and you had people like Ben Shapiro and people like that come out and say that about One Battle After.
and that is
Yeah.
true. That is true. But I think like, and that is true. But then when those people come back and say, "Hey, this is why," and it doesn't have to be sinners. Like One Battle After Another wouldn't. If it was up to me, Chainsaw Man is getting a vote before One Battle After Another. But I think like when we're talking about making an impact, I'm like, what impact did this movie make besides being just a cool PTA movie? It's like I can watch another cool PTA movie and not have to deal with the baggage of the subject matter, essentially. So
And so to get into some more kind of criticisms people had about Sinners. So speaking about Ben Shapiro, since this guy, he's also part of the Daily Wire here. So this is what Matt Walsh, who said about
Jesus Christ.
About Sinners right here. Let me show this one. So Matt Walsh says, it's like when everyone pretended that Black Panther was some kind of cinematic masterpiece. Everyone knows what's going on here. Almost all of the praise is exclusively because of the Black cast and director. Easily one of the most overrated movies ever made. There you go. So people are praising the Black cast. I mean, obviously the cast is great and happens to be Black. So I mean, that's
cool.
And the director,
two of them aren't like two of the most celebrated performances aren't Black though. So I don't. Yeah, that's a horrible point. I like I said, and this is the thing where you can't, like, a Matt Walsh will make you like you end up like saving your criticism. Like I don't think Black Panther was an amazing movie. I don't even know if I'd call it a great movie, but like you would have a better argument about Black Panther because it doesn't follow through with its themes. Like for all intents and purposes, like Black Panther resembles Iron Man more than Boys in the Hood, right? Like if we had to put one in a other section, like we had to like categorize everything, and I think like that is to its failing. So like I can kind of understand the criticism with Black Panther, even though like I would hate to fucking agree with Matt Walsh, but like it just doesn't apply to Sinners. Like
are people confusing calling something a cinematic masterpiece with just people just liking it? A lot of people liking the movie.
I think people are saying that it is a cinematic masterpiece. I don't think that's an unfair categorization. And to be fair, when you get 16, when you're the most nominated movie of all time,
I'm talking about with Black Panther. I thought
Black Panther,
like when that came. I mean, people were hyped about it, excited about it, and people liked it. But I don't think anybody. Oh my god! Like people like it. Just people had a lot of
the best movie.
They liked it. People liked it.
I think you have. I think that's a good point. Like I think people at best were saying it's the best Marvel movie, maybe. Which fucking Infinity War came out 2 months later, so I thought that shit was crazy. I thought they were tripping, but I won't. Here's what I will. I won't act like the subject matter didn't get it goodwill. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I hate about these grifters is they can never make that point. They always have to make it fucking weird. Like they always have to like take it that extra step and just be odd, But I mean, to an extent, I mean, is Black Panther the most overrated movie ever? I might have made that point in 2018, but like it's a cool movie. It's better than fucking Crash. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's better. Like,
than Amelia Perez. Amelia Perez had 13 nominations.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Well, and that movie got drafted, and that's what I'm saying, bro. It's unfortunate because like it's not out of nowhere that people have this perception of these things, and it's just like that's why I be extra hard on stuff like this because it's like, yo, you're representing like they'll probably. I mean, cool. Fingers crossed that trans people get another movie that's more iconic than Amelia Perez, right? Like fingers fucking crossed. I hope they get their Sinners. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, yeah, like you can't deny that politics didn't play into that at all. But you kind of just end up like the tone, and you kind of just sound kind of shitty. That makes people double down on this movie, and then boom, boom.
So I guess that's where I asked you about, like, do people perceive like the nominations, Oscars, most nominations as like this is supposed to be the greatest movie ever, when I think that's why people are kind of perceiving that. So if this movie ended up, let's say it had half it. So let's say it had, instead of 16, it
Ooh.
had 8. Would it be going like, will people have the same reaction going like, "Oh, this is over it," if it just had 8 instead of 16?
I think it comes to the right conclusion, but I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you when people think. I think people can compartmentalize and understand that one, there's different categories. Like and y'all kind of alluded to this. There's the gimme Oscars where it's like, all right, we're gonna give you one of these so we can let this other shit sweep, right? Like and then like there's some of like best film editing is more or less like the first best picture award, like essentially. Like so it's like there's a lot of politics in play, but like from a technical perspective, like the technical Oscars is like it's like half the Oscars, ain't it? Like for the main shit. So it's like
Yeah. So visual effects, score,
score, sound
cinematography,
editing. Like what's the difference between
editing.
sound design and sound editing? I couldn't fucking tell you, but
Then
it's
they
two.
added a new category like casting, which that also got added this year, so they were nominated for that. So that's like an extra thing that they got nominated.
DEI award. So
Yeah.
that's what they're gonna call it. I think where the conclusion where you're adding where you came to is correct in terms of like if this got 8 awards, would it be the pushback? No. Um do I think that people perceive 16 that's a cinematic man? I mean, I don't think I don't think it's an unreasonable perspective to have. You know what I'm saying? Like theoretically, if you get best picture, the top of that should be cinematic masterpieces, right? Like,
I mean, it's a year by year thing. It's not the
yeah,
Oscars.
yeah, yeah.
They don't evaluate film in the totality of it. They evaluate film year by
I don't
year.
think it's an unfair expectation that say, okay, the top 3 year, like the way I vote, or not the way I vote, but the way I would perceive it is the best movie of a year should contend for best of the decade, right? Like that's how I
Right.
would perceive it. Like generally, it's not a 1-to-1, but like Oppenheimer, I would say, yeah, like that should be in consideration for best of the decade. I can't remember what else, whatever else. Like one bad, not one bad, another. Everything everywhere all at once. Like I would consider that. Like yeah, that should be. So I don't think it's un. I think this would point to the failing of the Oscars if we're looking at 10 Best Picture nominations and none of the and like only two, like one of those is a cinematic masterpiece.
I mean, you bring up everything all at once. I don't think it was the same, but it was similar. I think when that had all the award
Yeah.
nominations, there was a similar kind of reaction, at least from maybe I saw from right wing people going like everything, like why is this nominated and all this stuff. Um, but I think I think I don't see it that way because I think it's always a year by year thing, and maybe there's some years in film that are weaker than others. And if a movie wins, like you said, like King's Speech won Best Picture. Would you put King's Speech up there with like some of the best movies?
No, but I would look at that Best Picture and I would say, all right, Social Network, that should be in conversation with the best, one of the best movies of the century. I would say Black Swan. I would
Yeah,
say so. I think we're being too frigid here. If I'm being honest, like I feel like we can add a little bit of nuance and say if the Academy cannot find 3 cinematic masterpieces in the year, they're messing up. Like I think like they, generally speaking, like
mm,
give
yeah,
me.
and we don't know what it's gonna win. I mean, we don't. I mean, it's just
I think
nominated.
Best Picture should. I think like the argument for 10 Best Picture nominations should cast a wide enough net to get a couple of those. Like right, maybe we could look at F1 now and be like, oh, this was whack. But F1 could have been Mad Max, right? Like the popcorn kind of vote could have been something that was. It could have been like one of the last Harry Potter movies. It could have been like one of those where it's like, okay, yeah, this is actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
Give me
So,
one sec. I gotta run. I gotta run. Get my
okay.
charge. My shit down. Give me 1 second.
No problem there. But yeah. So I mean, well, that's kind of just my thing with it. Of just, I think many people are kind of making it like, oh, because it has all these nominations, that means that it's such an excellent film, and it's like it has to be the greatest film ever made because it has 16 nominations and dominates it. All these other nominations that other films have ever gotten. It's like, well, it's gotten more nominations than something like Lawrence of Arabia, but it's like Joker has more nominations. Joker got 11 nominations. Does that mean Joker is better than Lawrence of Arabia? I don't think so. Um, and again, I think that I always had an issue with the Academy expanding the Best Picture nominees from 5 to 10, because that's when you get stuff like maybe like F1 involved there. We talked about it earlier, and like movies that are kind of just thrown in because like, oh, okay, hey, this is more of the normie kind of pick that most people probably have seen. That's more accessible to people, like how you got something like Top Gun Maverick, like how you got something like Avatar, or Black Panther there. And all those movies, what all those movies have in common, they're fun, enjoyable films. I love Top Gun Maverick, and Top Gun Maverick was a huge surprise of the year that it came out. And it was like, okay, this sequel to a movie that's over multiple decades old, but I really liked it quite a bit, and I had a lot of fun with it. I was surprised it got nominated for Best Picture, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just you throw it in there because hey, it's an enjoyable film, and most people kind of liked it. But Anthony's back here. So what is your solution? I mean, I guess I don't want to put you on the spot there, but I mean, if you have this issue with all these critic associations, Academy, Golden Globes, they're all run by predominantly all white people. There's only a few black people there, a few
Yeah.
any other people that's not white. How do you? How does black art thrive and I guess be considered great in this space? And that could be whether it's movies or shows or music or whatever, if it's always going to be has to go this through past this white kind of critique, I guess, if that question makes sense.
I don't think there is a problem. I think we put too much emphasis on awards, Academy Awards specifically. Um, if Sinners doesn't win at anything, I still think it'll be the most impactful movie of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I think whenever you look at a snub, it's like, oh, this is so underrated. But like, if everybody's talking about it being underrated, it's not underrated. It's probably rated. So I think we should stop looking to the Academy for approval. I made this point before, but Spike Lee wins an Oscar, right? And this happened with Leo too. You end up getting an Oscar, and people are like, well, this is a legacy award. You should have got it before, and then so like they kind of show the Oscar anyway, right? And then Spike Lee did a movie with Denzel. The shit didn't even go to theaters. Like, did the Oscar really help? Was it really
had a limited theatrical run, and then it went to.
But you know what I'm saying, bro. Like, yeah, it didn't go to theaters. So it's like, what's that? The Oscars are more or less like with the invention of Letterbox and like Film Twitter. Like, I think that's more important than the Oscars. Like, the 28 years later fans are like crying because that movie didn't get nominated. They're above average zombie movie. But like, if y'all keep talking about it for the next couple of years, for the next decade, then what difference does it make? What difference does that Oscar make if y'all are going to ride for the movie for the next, decade?
Yeah, I think there's sometimes an overvaluing of awards, and that's how I guess you get where you hear what people complaining about the 16 nominations there. With that, and some people also, I guess, the flip side of the coin is people overhyping it because, like, hey, our love for this movie is vindicated because it got 16
Right.
nominations, and that means it's great. So we're vindicated in that. When there's plenty of movies I love that've never been nominated, that've never won anything. And I like No Other Choice was my second favorite movie of the year. It got nothing. It got shut out. I was greatly surprised by that. I thought it would get at least nominated for something, at least like foreign film or maybe Best Picture there. But it was a strong year for foreign films. But Park Chan-wook is one of the greatest directors we have today, and the fact that he was kind of shut out for No Other Choice was staggering to me. But yeah, but I mean, if it did get nominated, it wouldn't have made my love for this movie any more vindicated or made it any more validated. It just would have been like, okay, that's cool, it got nominated, and it's cool it won. Sometimes that's nice, but I still love this movie a lot, and I think it's amazing.
If we stop looking at the Academy as a curated list from a select amount of people, when we stop looking at that and looking at it more as a seal of approval, or a stamp of quality, we've messed up because it's like not every movie needs not every I feel like 15 years ago you did a good performance, it was good, you move on. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's like you know you have a good performance, like oh man, like Odessa, like she got snubbed. It's like she didn't get snubbed. She had a good performance, and we'll remember that, and we'll go when we watch the movie. We'll remember that, and that's it. Like that's fine. On to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, one last point before we head out here. I'll show one last one. So this person says, "Sinners, as a fun, rare, big budget, non IP popcorn film. Hell yeah, Sinners is one of the most defining prestige films of the century. I don't know, guys. Um, that's the last one I kind of wanted to show there. How much reaction do you think this is because Sinners, black director, black cast, black film there? Or do you think it is like how would you kind of over under because black film, black cast, black director, or because it is like people just think the movie is just this popular popcorn film? It's like why is it being nominated? How what was your over under there?
I think we do have to acknowledge that any movie that is perceived as popular or great will be shitted on. You know,
Mm,
I like I said, I think this movie is framed as a black movie. This is Boys in the Hoods. You know, Boys in the Hood. This is Mr. Society in that ilk. So I think people are gonna have that reaction. And I think the guy kind of told on himself in the sense of like Sinners is about racism, it's about like colonialism, you know what I'm saying? It's about Jim Crow, it's about the lingering effects of slavery. If you found that fun, either you think those things are fun topics, or Ryan Coogler created and crafted a narrative around those themes. He crafted characters that talked and spoke in a way and interacted in a way that was fun. Because I do think Sinners is a fun movie. Like I hate kind of the idea of like fun. I hate when the idea of fun is kind of like an equalizer. Like it's kind of like, oh, the movie's just fun. Like, and it's like, okay, so that means a shitty, like Free Guy. Somebody could call Free Guy a fun movie, and that raises the quality. Or you could say, like let's say Mad Max. Let's say Mad Max is a fun movie that could bring it down. Like it's kind of like it's just a conversation ender essentially. Um, but I do think it is a fun movie. Like, and they kind of that's kind of the point. Like he alludes to, like that was the best day of my life before the vampire showed up. You know what I'm saying? I ate my first box. I played the guitar. Like it was a great day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the point of it though. So I think the people are perceiving it as, oh, you think this movie is fun? I do think they're being a bit disingenuous. But again, either they're right or this is a master crafted movie from Ryan Coogler. Because like I don't know, hot take. I think like Saving Private Ryan is a fun movie because the characters are bright. The kid like the action is like cool. Like the subject matter is dark and like grim, but that's the contrast and the brightness and the characters that you can squeeze out of it. That's the finesse. Like that's you're getting oil to mix with water. That is the magic of movies. Um, and if Ryan Coogler did that, I feel like that's a great fucking movie, right? Like
mm, yeah. I mean, I
The
yeah.
Departed. I think that's a fun movie. I do. Like it's a horrible like it's horrific things. Sopranos is a fun show. Like I don't I think we're focusing on the wrong thing in terms of that tweet specifically.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it includes like much like what Nolan does of those big budget sensibilities, but also making it this grand kind of film there and bringing that kind of like big budget movies don't all have to be superhero stuff and Marvel movies. You can also have some depth to them as well, and they can be very successful at the box office, and they can have mass appeal as well. I think Yeah, you can do that. I think Coogler did that with Sinners.
Yeah.
And like I said, these are just nominations. I mean, I don't know. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna win every single award.
That'd be
Uh,
insane. Nah, nah, nah.
but I think it's gonna win some of them, and I hope it wins some of them. And with that, but yeah, and like I said, there's been some other reactions. Like I said, Everything Ever All at Once. It had a similar reaction when that was nominated. I forgot how many award nominations that had.
That's a lot.
It was a lot, but it was big, and it won. I think majority of them. I think it won majority of them. But yeah, so that had kind of a similar reaction there. But hey, shout out to Sinners. I mean, congrats to got nominated. Congrats to Ryan Coogler. Congrats to the cast. Big fan of that movie. Love the movie. It was one of my favorite movies of 2025. And yeah, so great.
Balls in your court, Jordan Peele. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, what's he's got something else cooking, I think, right? He's because he's auditioning that guy from Stranger Things, Caleb McLaughlin, and some other people are gonna be the lead of his movie. So he's got something else cooking there. But yeah, so
It's
uh
interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think like the movie business is getting smaller. Like I think Matt Damon talked about this. Like I think a name brand is only gonna be more important. You know what I'm saying? I think people are gonna be like, oh yeah, like looking at this year in 2024, people will be like, oh yeah, it's PTA. You know, it's Wes Anderson, it's Ryan Coogler. I think like it's gonna be more and more important. So like yeah, Jordan Peele needs to deliver. You know what I'm saying? Not even relative to Sinners. He needs to keep delivering so that his name can stay in those names that people will go out to see because it's getting dire out here.
we got Boots Riley, you got him, Barry Jenkins.
Ooh. I'm not saying black. I'm not specifying black people, by the way. That was a joke, but I'm saying like
Oh,
in general, the director they have to keep their name relevant because that's pretty much. It seems like that's all that people are going to respond to. Like honestly,
yeah. All right. That was our discussion about Sinners.